Boom! How you going, folks? I'm Thundercloud here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame, washing away the garbage, leaving rainbows after rains. Well, yeah. And Mum, hi. It's James. Hey, what is happening here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame? Oh, 2023, it's the year to be. Well, in front of me, I've got a heap of books. A heap of poetry books. So much so, actually, that it makes me emotional because I'm grateful. And I look at this pile of poetry books and I just think of the amount of love that each poet, each editor, each publisher has put into every single one of these 200 books in front of me, and that's just a fraction of Australian poetry. Why am I grateful? Because this pile of over 200 Australian mostly, but some international poetry books, is a massive gifting donation to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame from Jeff Doyle, who is still a brilliant mind academic. Worked at the Defence Force Academy, lecturing in Australian literature, poetry, and I think also Sydney University said. But yeah, if I got that wrong, I do apologise. He's moved up from Canberra to Armidale, and of course, in retirement people often downsize, and he's been working in poetry all his life, and he's just donated this 200 plus books of Australian poetry to the Australian Poetry Library and Archive, which takes the numbers of the Australian Poetry Library here well over 1,000 books now. And I had to share it with you because it's just like the 3 years I've been here and often alone, like now, doing the head miles and the hard miles and whatever other miles, running miles and reading miles and writing and whatever. Anyway, and look, it's thundering and raining now. Boom! Right, it's really raining. Without any thunder. Now, I wanted to share some of this with you. What else is happening here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame that I'm so passionate about? Well, we got in August, we've got a heat of the Word Travels Australian Poetry Slam, and it's like 2 months away. And it's 2 minutes, and you need to get here because it's your chance to get in from the New South Wales. You need to be a New South Wales poet, and if you're regional, you can come here on the 15th and 16th. 15th for a workshop, a Word Travels workshop, how to do slam, and on the 16th, and compete. And the audience is select. You get like judges from the audience, and they actually give you numbers and that. And so you would get the chance to go and compete if you won, at the New South Wales Poetry Slam Championship, and then if you won that, you'd get to go to the Australian Championship, which would be in Sydney. Anyway, it would be awesome. So it's an opportunity for young, old, female, male, in between, unbetween, whatever you are, coloured, uncoloured, pink, purple, puce, just get on here because the August is going to be awesome. And then in November, there is the New South Wales Bush Poetry Championship. See, can you tell why I'm so excited and emotional? Because shit's happening, right? Okay, The Honeyman, Michael Thwaites, and other poems. Let me read you a poem, right? About the author. Born in 1915, Michael Thwaites was educated at Geelong Grammar School and Melbourne University. Wow. In 1938, as a Rhodes Scholar at Oxford, he won the Newdigate Prize for Poetry, was later awarded the King's Medal for Poetry. Well, there you go. His poems reflect the experience of an unusually varied life, including 6 years in the Navy in World War II, lecturing in English literature at Melbourne University. Okay. And direction of counter-espionage in ASIO in the Stalin era, and deputy head of the Parliamentary Library in Canberra, where he now lives. Well, maybe not, because he was born in 1915. He is married with 3 sons and a daughter. This is from Aslan Publishing. There's a line there. Holy wow. The Honey Man and other poems. We're going to just do a random one, right? 1, 2, 3. I talk to the willow. When you were caught red-rooted in the drain, you wept, of course, but did the same again. Not a year later, look me in the eyes and do not bother to pretend surprise. Recall the second time the drainer came and summon, if you can, some sense of shame. The case was clear. Want my advice? Said he, folding the cheque. You'd best take out that tree. You heard, or did not hear. It's hard to tell, but the next spring, as I remember well, you spurred to such a torrent of pure charm as might excuse Beelzebub from harm. Such waterfalls of soft, bewitching green as never in our garden had been seen in any previous year. Well, now, attend. Assume your spirit wishes to amend, but thirst is strong. I will not be judgmental or ask too much of passion's elemental. There's a history. Let us wear no blinkers. You come of a long line of heavy drinkers. Therefore your restless roots shall be confined by a deep trench. With plastic sheeting lined, you shall be watered well to ease temptation, so we can hope for your cooperation. Though to the pure they say all things are pure, please try to keep your thoughts out of the sewer. A Talk to the Willow. That was by Michael Thwaites from his book The Honey Man and Other Poems, and that was published, as I said, by Aslan Publishing in 1989. And his other books, poetry books, Milton Blind, The Jarvis Bay and Other Poems, Poems of War and Peace, and Current Affairs, The Truth Will Out, Agio and the Petrovs, published in 1980. Might be an interesting read. Okay, I'm going to bookmark that one because I like that poem just for its sense. Yeah. All right. Now I've got 200 other books here, and I just don't know what to read to you. There is just so much, and I was just going to do sort of like a randomness to give you some kind of random selection. I wasn't even going to read whole poems out, but here I am. See, there's like Alan Gould's second series, Icelandic Solitaires. Alan Gould was born in London in 1949. There you go. So you'll be able to access all this over here at the Australian Poetry Library and Archive. Now, if anyone did want to actually come and volunteer their time and catalogue it for me, because I obviously don't have that much time because I have heaps of stuff to organise. Volunteers was always appreciated here, doing whatever, helping out. So look, Michael Dransfield, he's a fantastic Australian poet. Jeff Page, Jazz Poems by Jeff Page. Now Jeff Page is still alive, and he's probably definitely one of Australia's great, current living poets, to tell you the truth. Produced well over 20 poetry books, as well as a whole lot of anthologies and like annual anthologies and stuff like that. So yeah, you'd be able to read that. Like I won't read a whole one because I wouldn't want to breach the copyright, but I can read a fraction of a one without breaching the copyright. And this is what I was going to say. You can't even read the title. It's called a Sudden Sentence in the Air, Jazz Poems by Jeff Page, and we'll just go to random. Hey, yeah. Lizzie Rivers all-girl band. The Trocadero was the best we ever played, I think. All those dancers and us six, like kelpies at their heels. Old Frank said he'd have us back, but nothing ever happened. The ferries were in some ways better, that honey shell of light. The engines like a pedal tone, as Ivy used to say. That clanking of the bell, the smell of coal smoke drifting back, the swell of Manly near the heads. Showboat was the word they used. Well, I could really get into that, and I would love to read it to you. One of these nights I might read it, the whole thing to you, and I'll bookmark that. Wednesday Words. Open mic poetry. That's on every Wednesday night here at the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. And it starts at 6:30. You can get a meal here. There's usually a nice warm soup and a main as well you can choose. And it starts at 6:30. We have our poetry, and you can come earlier if you want to have your meal. And you don't have to be a poet, but anyone is welcome to come and choose a book or bring your own poetry books. And that's the thing. And I must say, as that big thank you once again to Jeff Doyle for this donation of poetry books, and anyone else who does want to downsize and know that their poetry books, or books for that reason, are going to a good home where they will be conserved and preserved so that they're not gone astray and we don't lose these important literary pieces in the age of the internet and AI and stuff. Because all of this stuff here, none of it, not one single bit, was done with AI. It was all done with this eye and this one here. Like all of these poets. And I can feel it in my heart, how much love went into these books. Like I can seriously like feel how much love is in these books right here now. Like if I was to take all of these books, right, and turn them into a hug, and then give that hug to you, and like hug with the amount of love that's in these books, you would just be like so like relaxed and just go, oh, it would be so beautiful, such a beautiful heart to heart hug. Like not like on the right side, on the left side, so heart to heart. I mean, just like that's how much love is in these books. It would be like having a hug from over 200 people, and all of their relatives, and all of the love, and all of their everything, you know? It's like the Akashic records, but in like hard copy. So, you know, it's stored, the internet goes out, this is still here. You know, you can't use your phone to read anything, or the whole world's electricity goes off because of a magnetic storm or something, like some conspiracy theory attack from the aliens or whatever. This will still be here. See, and so if you got poetry books to donate to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame Library and Archive, then they would be really appreciated by myself and future generations of the world, because we are just one world. And then here we go. Let's grab this one here. This is Akhenaten by Dorothy Porter. Now Dorothy Porter, oh no, that's Dorothy Hewitt up there. Another fantastic poet. I think she only passed in 2005. Yeah, but she travelled really quite widely. When a lot of our wonderful poets of like the 20th century were much more literate and versed in the classics in literature, like the Greek, the Latin, the Egyptian, etc., classic writings, Roman, the Persian, etc., and wherever, who knows, than a lot of people are today. And that's why I say that you'll find, so Akhenaten, Dorothy Porter, like, a bit about her. Dorothy, who's dead now, has established an international reputation as one of Australia's most exciting and innovative writers. She's highly regarded as a performer of her own work and has toured extensively in Australia and New Zealand. So she was very, very, very well. Here we go. Here's one from her. Dancing on light. Light. It's just after sunrise, and I dance on light. I dance on a sword that breaks elsewhere. Dawn over Akhenaten. Peace. I give peace to my city. Dancing on light, on sunlight. I think I did that justice, actually. Wow, what a fantastically beautiful poem. I know I can see why. My heart's just like going, that's what it's doing. It's going, that's fantastic. Like, we just have some wonderful poets on this continent of Australia. Unceded Banbai and Kamilaroi land, Gomeroi land that I'm on up here. And right, what else have we got in here? Oh, I just don't know where to stop and start. There's just so many for you. Oh, goodness gracious, me. Gawler's #1 Fish Cafe. Oh no, that's the back of the book. Oh, Painting the Town. The Gawler Poems by Jeff Guess. Well, there's a whole heap of like 1970s and early 1980s cars in the street. So I'm guessing the Wakefield Press on the back. Jeff Guess, Painting the Town, has for its focus and range the township of Gawler, South Australia, where he's lived for 10 years. The poems, many of which are both contemplative and narrative, centre not on a landscape but on the township and its community. The subject range is broad and poetry informed by a sombre kind of hope. Well, there's a marked page here, so we'll see. It's an old, there's a thing from Ansett, the old Ansett Airlines. Okay, so we're on that page and there's another marked page. Oh, there's a few marked pages in this one. Right. Adelaide, the Wakefield Press, 1988. Don't know if Jeff is alive or not anymore. Can't tell you, because I'm just going random here. But right, let's... Alright, we've got these marked ones. There's a few that are marked, but I don't know which one he'd be looking at. It could be any... right, random. The Country Institute Librarian. Left open too high up the building here for years to matter much about things getting in. Only they had been for years, he felt it now, closing quietly around him, more than the weight of years. And in a hurry, but what if he were to close this window on the wind and dream winter? He understood the piling up outside in the empty yard of old, dry, yellow leaves, crackling in a dry wind. crumbling into summer's dusty, empty spaces. But they only really touched him here, crowded on shelves, in ancient book-lined rooms where no one came to borrow anymore. All those things that had been quietly getting in and past for years. Keeping busy hadn't stopped, hurrying against him, focused in a square of glass, to ask, what if he were to close this window on the wind and dream winter? He might get through to somewhere he could manage and go back and home on cold, closed country roads, wet with grey rain, and only then make perhaps of all his mornings a constant sort of emigration. The Country Institute Librarian by Jeff Guess. It's kind of melancholy considering here I am collecting a heap of the ironies I'm collecting and preserving a heap of Australian poetry books. Yeah, what a synchronicity throw at you at times, hey? You gotta laugh. Oh, Dorothy Hewitt, look, she's just up there. All right, let's do a Dorothy Hewitt. Why not? Rapunzel in Suburbia. Oh, great, this will be fun. Oh, come on, let's look for something easy and little and short. Envoy. I think I've read that once before, actually. This is Rapunzel in Suburbia by Dorothy Hewitt. Again, when did she pass away, I think? 2009, I don't know, doesn't matter. This book is dedicated, this one was published in, I'll tell you when it was published for a start, Prism Publishing, and it was published in 1975, first printing. This is a second printing from 1976. Death of my mad mother. To die quietly, one finger on legend of the 90s, marking his place. The long night's tide pulling him through dream to dark. Not like her, struggling, one side gone, eyes fixed with implacable blame, demanding love. Die, I sob, die, and that indomitable voice whispers, I'm still here. So that's the end of it. The long day's hatreds, honey top in the chair gone, grey with waiting. Not too sure, there's a lot of love in that one. Death of my mad mother. Maybe there was. Maybe I'm misinterpreting it. What else have we got here? Fantastic. We got Bruce Beaver and Marcel Friedman. We got more Jeff Page, and we got Cora in Hell improvisations by William Carlos Williams. Come to my melancholy baby. Come to me, my melancholy baby by Kate Jennings. The Crystal Absences, The Trout by Andrew Traylor. Vincent Buckley, Robert Harris. Well, that's just fantastic. Look, that's all. It was only going to be ever a short video to just share my excitement and the amount of love that are in these books with you. Anyway, if you've got a donation you'd like to make to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame, you can send or come here to 144 Bradley Street, Guyra. And I can assure you that they will be preserved and conserved here in the Australian Poetry Library and Archive. Now, don't forget the Australian Poetry Slam here on the 15th and the 16th of June, of August. And then the New South Wales Poetry, Bush Poetry Championship here in November as well. So, hey, and every Wednesday night, Poetry Night, Saturday morning markets here as well. And you can also catch me doing Chillin Tuesday, reading every Tuesday night here on YouTube as well. So, yeah. Anyway, all right, well, you have a lovely evening, or whatever it is, whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you next time with some more exciting information and updates from the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. Boom, on Thundercloud. Oh, poetry's my game. See you later.